It started last October when dozens of residents saw a helicopter fly over their homes, claiming it dropped pesticides on them. 3.5 months later, and the community still doesn't know what was sprayed on them or who sprayed it. The people in Cedar Valley feel state and local agencies aren't giving them the help they need, and now they're saying they're dealing with chronic health problems. There aren't many details being released about what happened in Cedar Valley back in October. The rural community left with more questions than answers.
3.5 months have gone by and we still have no information on what people were exposed to and no medical help for them.
Lisa Arkin with Beyond Toxics, a nonprofit working to change laws in Oregon to protect people from pollutants. The organization has filed a petition on behalf of Cedar Valley residents, now federal agencies, looking into the ongoing herbicide exposure in the area.
The folks in Gold Beach area who'd been impacted felt strongly that our state agencies were treating them like the problem.
Here's what we know about the investigation. The lead agency is the Oregon State Department of Agriculture, or ODA. While we do not know the exact combination of chemicals sprayed, the ODA says the samples taken from homes in Cedar Valley are being tested for these 5 types of herbicides, which Dr. Ryan Garrett explains aren't particularly harmful to people.
Modern herbicides are engineered to target certain aspects of plant physiology, for instance, an enzyme pathway for growth. And those enzyme pathways aren't present in human beings, and so their degree of toxicity is fairly low.
However, Arkin says Cedar Valley residents worried about the effects of repeated exposure. Dr. Garrett says not much is known about long-term pesticide exposure.
I do know from a public health perspective there is some concern that certain herbicidal agents can cause birth defects and potentially be carcinogenic, but that's a generalization.
Burns says he doesn't have any medical records to prove his symptoms are the result of exposure to pesticides, but he says he never had health problems before the spray.
They just think that you're just making this stuff up and you're making a big deal out of nothing. Well, all I can say is that, if you had somebody come over the top of you on your own property and spray poison on you, how would you feel?
Besides the physical effects of the pesticides, Burns says the bigger issue, how could this happen and was it an accident? The ODA can't tell us yet who was flying the helicopter, but investigators confirm Pacific Air Research, a White City helicopter company that sprays pesticides, is involved in the investigation, as is Crook Timberlands, a timber company managing about 8,000 acres in Curry County. News 10 spoke to the manager, Rick Barnes, who says they know about the incident but claim they've done nothing wrong.
We know about it because we were originally blamed for it, because we were working in that general vicinity, by general vicinity, about a mile away that same day.
Back in October, Barnes says Crook Timberlands did do aerial spraying in the Gold Beach area, but never flew over Cedar Valley. Barnes says they always follow laws, yet they've had many residents make false accusations about their operations. He pointed out this Facebook page, Citizens for Greener Curry. On it, Barnes says people have made comments about shooting down helicopters. It appears this comment that Barnes sent us has been taken down, the Facebook user later apologizing for it. Whether or not they were serious, it's still a concern for Barnes. Crook Timberland says there is no proof they have ever done anything illegal, and the people in Curry County will find any excuse to stop aerial sprays.
We're not ashamed of what we're doing, and we do it with a lot of care. And so they tested the vegetation on our units where we sprayed, and we encourage that.
The ODA is still testing because this investigation involves many victims, making it more complex.
It's not uncommon that samples may take several months, to be processed through all the quality control.
Dale Mitchell with the ODA says the complexity of the Cedar Valley investigation is similar to an investigation of mass bee deaths in the Portland area. Last June, more than 50,000 bees died in just one location. This case took 6 months to complete. The department issued 6 violations related to the incident, totaling about $2,000. While people in Cedar Valley wait for answers, Mitchell says he understands the community's frustration.
We take these incidents, very seriously. The complaints or concerns, the allegations are, this, as we said, is a very complex investigation.
The ODA wanted to make it very clear that they are just as concerned about the incident as the Cedar Valley community. Investigators don't want to release any information until the investigation is complete. Mitchell says they expect that won't be until the end of March. And coming up tomorrow on News 10 at 6, why the company involved in the Cedar Valley investigation may not have done anything illegal and limitations on state laws that may not protect your family from being exposed to pesticides. Covering your news, Whitney Clark, News 10.